What's up, YouTubers? Today we're going to be taking a look at the Freeman Machine Armor Mech figure from Joy Toy. Let's get into it. Let's take a look at his accessories. Here we have his large rifle. It's got the tan wash to it with the black speckles. Painted on danger, do not touch sign on both sides. Really great detail on this thing. Also has articulated barrel ends, which go up and down, which I think that's a nice touch. It also comes with this these 3 canisters. Now, if this was a phaser rifle, I don't know if these are battery backups or, again, ammunition boxes. If this is a regular type of gun, I guess your imagination will lead you away. These also peg into the rifle. As you can see, there's 3 slots there, and all you do is you line them up to the hole. You pop them in. They go in pretty snug, as you can see. And then the third hole is on this side right there. So you take and you pop it in like so. Being new, yep, it's really tight fit. Okay, did not even realize this until I looked at the instructions, but this is actually a pistol that comes out. Again, it's in the same paint wash and it blends in really well. I think that's a pretty neat idea that they have the holster stuck right there on the back of the gun, and you know, that just slides right in there. That looks great. One other accessory they have is this handlebar. This is a 2-piece, and as you can see, that just kind of pops together on the gun. First part goes right here on this hole, and then the second part goes on the corresponding side. And you line up the squares, give it a squeeze, and there's a secondary handle, and that's also articulated. Again, the details on these figures are amazing. And one last piece is this clip, I guess you'd call it. And this, I believe this goes in this hole over here. And what that does is that allows you to use that peg and peg it onto the mech. There's corresponding holes all over the mech as well. Okay, let's take a look at the figure that came with the mech. Really nice detail on this guy. He has a green vest with a knife sheath on his chest. The knife is removable, nice and tiny. It's got the silver paint on the actual blade and the black handle. Great sculpt on the head on this guy. His eyes are actually painted. I love the two-tone brown haircut. Has this little rat's tail on the back. Call back to the 90s, I guess. Tannish pants with like green patches on it. I'm not sure if that's coming through on the camera. He has a belt that is loose. He comes with this really decent looking little pistol. I'll let him hold it so I don't drop it. Has some nice detail on that. And as you can see, his finger is on the trigger. So like I said, he has a really good paint apps on this guy. Really great detail. Let's take his pistol out of his hand. Take a look at his articulation real quick. He has a 360 swivel at the shoulder. A little bit more than 90 at the elbow. Again, that also swivels. He has the wrist swivel that spins around this way. And this wrist actually goes up and down like so. And this wrist goes up and down like so to hold the gun. That we're getting so used to with the later G.I. Joe figures and all these new modern figures. He has thigh swivels right there. Double jointed knees, rocker ankles, and also the toe bends up and down. Really good range of motion. Guess you're going to need that to fit in the mech behind him. He also has really good range of motion with his head. That's looking up. Whoops. That's looking down. As you can see, these heads pop out really easy. He has an ab crunch, which is hindered by the vest. Also, his body does swivel like this. All in all, really, really great range of motion on these guys. And now on to the mech. As you can see, there's a lot to this figure. There's really decent paint apps on both his right and left shoulders. He has a warning sign right here. A skull inside the triangle, upside down triangle. A red periscope or spotlight on the top of his head, which is articulated. Does spin left and right. The two-tone paint with the tan and the gray mechanical looking parts to him look fantastic. So this is the top hatch that actually opens up to let the pilot in. This is the bottom hatch that drops down. This has a set of stairs for the pilot to climb actually up into the cockpit. It has two articulated handlebars inside that spin 360, which makes it a little bit easier to get the pilot inside because it is pretty cramped for space in there. Let's close this up, take a look at the exterior. We'll start with his arms. There's a lot of articulation with this figure. I was pleasantly surprised. As you can hear, it's got the ratcheting system. These turn 360, ratcheting up and down this way. Also has a bicep swivel, an elbow bend, an elbow swivel. The wrist is fully articulated, spins 360. It's kind of on a ball joint. The fingers are actually articulated as well. The thumb up and down, every finger, which is amazing. We'll move the arm up out of the way. His legs do pivot all the way around, 360. Again, you can hear those ratcheting joints. They bend out this way. You can do a full set of splits. It has a pivot right here. He has double jointed knees. This actually goes up and down to give you a little bit more range of motion to bend his knees. Also has a reverse bend this way, so you can get a lower stance on him. The back portion of the foot pivots and also goes up and down. Same with the front. The front goes up and down, but you have to slide these covers up to get more range of motion. And this also pivots. Again, a lot of moving parts on this figure. Oh, and he also has a little bit of a shroud back here that does do some pivoting as well. Let's get him to stand back up again. He also has a articulation right here on his waist. Hold him steady. Full 360. Looks like that's on a ball joint as well. So you can get into, him into some really dynamic poses if you want to. I'll spin him around. There's a lot of great detail on the back of this figure. Looks like some more paint apps. We have a red triangle with an exclamation point in it. Yellow cautionary tape across the back. This cover actually does pop off. Give you some access to the actual red canisters. Those do not pull out. Tip him forward a little bit. Another caution sign right there. This is a thruster in the back, I guess. Goes up and down. Two more caution signs on the back of his thighs that do a little bit of spinning. And again, these are those handlebars that go up and down that you need to move out of the way to get full articulation on the knee bends. Let's try to get the pilot inside the mech. We'll open up the top hatch, bottom hatch. Now I will be honest, I tried this quite a few times off camera, unsuccessfully. Kept popping the head off. But I found that if you put him in the already sitting position like so, with his arms up, you move these handlebars forward and remove his gun so you don't lose it inside the mech. he does slide in there a lot easier. You can get his hands down on the handlebars. Again, if you have big fingers like me, it's not as easy. And there he is, he's sitting inside. As we slide this up, you gotta kind of give him a little shift. Really cramp for space. I don't know if I'd want to be in this mech for more than a few hours at a time. And there he is. Let's try to get him to hold his gun. Again, this is a really large gun. Let's see if all this great articulation will work. Get his fingers open. His other arm up to support the gun. Now I did notice that in his hands they have these slots. But there was no corresponding slots on the weapon anywhere. I thought maybe that they pegged in, but they do not. His fingers do grip the grip pretty well. And again, there's an arm right here to hold the gun up. And there you go. Now he's not going to be able to shoulder the rifle at all. But what I found that is if you pivot the little periscope on top of his head, looks like he's aiming that way. And I'm not sure if I'd want this thing chasing me down the road. And now for my final thoughts. The first thing I think of when I look at this mech is the game Titanfall. A game that's sadly underrated and was a lot of fun. When I first saw this come up for sale, couldn't wait to finally get a mech to fit my 1/18 scale figures. The amount of detail and great paint make this mech a fantastic collectible. The pilot is great, with great articulation to match. With little persuasion, he fits in the mech pretty well. Anyone who's into the futuristic military genre, I'd say this is a must-get for your collection. Look at how he holds that pistol. Perfect. Oh yeah, this thing comes in blue as well. Thanks for watching, and remember, share your knowledge.